In this episode, I sit down with Ross Everett, creator of Stop Stopping the Unstoppable, to talk about why you should stop stopping the unstoppable. Get excited, because this is Tiny Leaps, Big Changes. Welcome to another episode of Tiny Leaps, Big Changes, where I share simple strategies you can use to get more out of your life. My name is Greg Clunas, and in this episode, I'm sitting down with Ross Everett. Ross is the creator of a show and author of a book called Stop Stopping the Unstoppable. And besides the fact that it's a great name, I'm really excited to learn from him more about this concept and why it is in our individual lives we need to stop getting in our own way and stop forcing ourselves into mediocrity. And so with that said, Ross, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on, man.
Absolutely, man. So let's start here. Where'd you come up with the name? Because it's really great.
I wanted something that was inherently stupid. I wanted something that no one could take seriously, but at the same time felt like over-the-top empowerment. Mm-hmm. So it was either going to be like, today starts now, but then when I said stop stopping the unstoppable, like I needed something that
just
people
clicked.
Well, you have to laugh at it. Like you have to laugh at it immediately, but also understand. And I was like, that it's so reflexive and confusing and dumb. It was perfect.
That's amazing, man. So how long have you been doing this? Did the show come first, the book? Like, give me the timeline of everything.
So the timeline of everything, I was doing like YouTube videos. I had like a pretty big, YouTube presence for a long time. And I wound up going to clown school out in France, where I met a bunch of people that were developing these shows for fringe festivals. And they were like, what's your show going to be, Ross? And I was like, I don't really know. And one of them came with me to a personal development event, which I've been like, I'll call it a closet fan of personal development. Mm-hmm. I say I have a love-laugh relationship with it because it's like, this is good stuff, but also
kind of ridiculous.
Like, exactly.
That's why I started this show.
Right?
Because the industry sucks.
It's like, there's room for improvement, right?
Yeah,
we need to improve the
Without
self-improvement
yeah.
industry. So a friend comes to like this event and he sees me like doing my thing and he's like, this is your show. And I was like, oh my goodness, you're right. Mm-hmm. So I started to kind of put the pieces together for like, what would that look like? I booked a theater and I leapt into this whole opportunity to create this show. And I like to reflect this statement that I heard from a friend of mine, which is never leave the site of a decision without taking massive action that forces you to commit. Right?
That's pretty good. I like that.
It's really good. And I was like, oh my gosh. And his whole thing is like, he was shaving his head and his beard and like, he was like Christ, and then went to like looking like Gandhi. And it was just wow. And that was his thing. But I was like, that wouldn't work for me. And my decision was I want to make a show. So I reached out to a theater and I booked a show and I booked the time slot. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea what I was going to do. I had 2 months to come up with something. So during that time, I just started writing down everything that I found was like ridiculous or weird, or that I would laugh at if I was at a personal development seminar. And that became the workings of this show. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing it now for 2 years. I took it to Australia, to the Adelaide Fringe Festival, developed it over there. I've been doing, since then, shows in San Francisco. I've done corporate events, which was surreal because I was like, you guys know this is a joke, right? And they're like, we don't care. We just need a pick-me-up. Yeah. So I was like, great. And people would come up to me and be like, can I get your book? Like, is this in a book form? Mm-hmm. And I was like, no. But it's always a good sign when someone comes up to you and asking. I was like, okay, there's a need. And I didn't just want to put the script into the book because it's such a different experience. Like, the show is something that you have to be there to truly experience. It's very unique. It's unlike any other comedy show or one-man show that I've ever seen, which is why I'm excited to keep doing it. And I realized that if I wanted to make the book needed to parody personal development books, self-improvement books, in the same way that the show takes on the personal development seminars. Right. So I just started leaping into even more personal development books, the Jen Sincero's, all of the different personal development books that you see on the shelves, on people's bookshelves in the room next to their nightstands, and the exercises in them. And like I was like, how do I do this in my ridiculous, like, idiot style that would make reading a book an actual experience? So the book is full of twists and turns and tactile experiences that I hope people, I always say, if you're not laughing on every page, I'm doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. So it's meant to be a comedy. It's meant to be funny. It's meant to like be a very easy, fun read.
Yeah. It's interesting though. And, correct me if I'm wrong here.
I always will.
Please.
Yeah.
My assumption is that this thing that is meant to parody personal development has probably helped a lot of people.
And that's the beauty of it. This
Yeah.
walks such a fine line. That's why I call it a love-laugh relationship, because I'm not like, this stuff sucks. I'm like, this stuff is important. I just wish there was a better way to get it across to the
Right.
people that have the resistance that I do.
Yeah.
I'll go to a personal development seminar. My arms are crossed. I'm sitting back. And I'm like, impress me. You know, like who are you to be telling me this stuff?
Yeah.
Which is a very, I think, millennial approach to this stuff, where it's like what have you done? You know, to be up there wearing this jacket telling me
Right,
how to
yeah.
live my life.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, like, I'll come away from these seminars with valuable information and still a bit of a weird taste in my mouth. Like, okay, that was good, but I also feel a little dirty. I wanted to get rid of that dirty feeling. And the element in my life that I've noticed is like that I am drawn to the most is play. Can this be fun? Can this be exciting?
Yeah.
Even if this has to be stupid, if I can have a good time doing it, I'm gonna have a less resistance towards it. So it's just about removing the resistance from this work, while at the same time making people laugh really hard.
Yeah, and that's what I love, because when I started this show, so I've been in consuming personal development since I was 13. So I'm 27 now. My older brother, when I was 13, I spent a summer with him in Florida, and he threw a massive Tony Robbins book in my face and said, "You have to read this before you leave," basically. And under duress, I read the book. But so I'm so grateful to the industry, because it is what helped me to recognize that, oh, I am in control of my life and I can do whatever the hell I want, right?
Yeah.
However, there is this big side of it that is like, let me say this thing that sounds really cute on Instagram and like make a quote out of it, and then make a video out of that quote, and then make 17 like anchor snippets out of the video. And all of a sudden, like, you're just taking it way too seriously and like trying to be this like godlike figure that nobody wants to see, but yet everyone still somehow wants to see. And so I started this show. In my mind, it was an antidote to that. It was, how do we take personal development and make it super, super practical? So instead of, here's my big passion and my goals and blah, 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 like, cool, what's the tiny thing you can do today that may not affect you for 25 years, but it will get you there? And that was my answer to the problem, based on my experiences and the skill sets I have. You did the same thing. And you just found the answer based on the skill sets and experiences you had, which was being funny, creating an experience, entertainment, so on and so forth. And I just love that we've almost like tried to solve the same problem, but just based on the differences in who we are, like came to different solutions for it. So
and that's the
kudos
beauty
for
of
that.
life, right?
Yeah.
Like, we could all see a similar problem, but our approach will be so different from one another.
Absolutely.
And you know, you said something that you read that Tony Robbins book under duress, right? Which is like, I think everybody gets into personal development under duress.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I call all of that stuff, going to a therapist, going to a Tony Robbins seminar, going to anything to change your life, I call that level one, right? Because you've acknowledged that there's something in your life that needs changing, or someone has forced you into saying that there's something that needs changing, and you're taking an action to improve it.
Yeah.
Right? That's step one. Level one. I call my show level 0, because you don't need to want to improve your life to go see a comedy show.
Yeah.
You could just want to have like a night out and like invite your friends to go see a comedy show, get your friends a comedy book. And it's just like, you're going to read this and you're going to laugh. And people are going to be so much, their guard comes down. Yeah. Because my number one priority is to make you laugh. I have a bunch of stuff that I could say that I could put into a book that'd be really inspirational, but that's also, there's so many other people that are doing that and that are probably better at that than I am. But my gift, I honestly feel like I'm the best person in the world at doing what I do. Yeah. I could take inspirational messages and I can wrap it in this form of confusing idiocy that makes people laugh and be curious about it, but at the same time be like, but that feels right.
Yeah.
I think that truth is contagious. And when someone hears something that resonates with them, they never forget it, regardless of if it comes through a cartoon,
No, yeah,
like
it doesn't
SpongeBob,
matter.
or out of a Tony Robbins book.
Yeah, 100%. So let's back up a little bit.
Back up.
You mentioned you went to clown school in France.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Dude, okay. So this was... I just like fresh come off of a Tony Robbins experience and driven into my mind the whole...
As Tony Robbins does. He drives people to clown school.
Yeah. I think he got a kickback. But it was the phrase, if you can't, you must. Mm-hmm. And I'd recently started hanging out with these guys that were like clowns, right? And we had the most amazing New Year's Eve party at my place where we were just having the most fun, goofing around on stage. And I felt like I'd found my people. And they said, Ross, you have to come to this school in France. Like that's where they all met. They were all from around the world. And they said, you have to come to this school in France. And I was like, oh, I can't. Because like it seems like so far-fetched, right? Like it's so out there. How am I going to get
absurd.
to France? I don't have the money to do it. I can't. And then I was like, oh no, like I have to now.
Oh,
so like this was an insane story because I had just gotten bumped off of a flight and got $1,000 credit on some airline. Mm-hmm. And $1,000 wasn't enough to get me to France. But I went to this website called Skiplagged. Have you heard of Skiplagged?
No.
It's like if airline tickets are too expensive, you buy a ticket to another destination that has a layover in the city that you want to go to, and you just don't check a bag. It's phenomenal.
Huh.
So I book a ticket to Moscow for like $500, and I'm like, this is incredible, because it has a layover in Charles de Gaulle, which is where I need to get to.
Interesting.
So I go to board the plane, and they're like, where's your visa? And I was like, what? And they're like, you need a visa to travel to Russia. And I was like, well, between you and me, I'm actually just going to France. And they're like, it doesn't matter. Your ticket says you're going to Russia. You need a visa. And so here I am, like it feels like this giant test. My class is starting the next day. I've already paid the tuition to go to this thing. And I'm like, okay, well, I have to go. And I say, well, how do I get on this plane? And they go, you need a visa or you need to buy another ticket. And I go, well, how much is another ticket? And they're like, $2,000. And I am like, I have to go. And I had just gotten a new credit card. And I go, okay, I guess I'm about to meet my minimum spend on this thing. And I put it down. I put the credit card down. I go, fine, like we're going. I'm going to France. I'm going to this thing. And this is a test. Just, you want me to prove that I want this? I want it. Bam, slam down the credit card, buy the $2,000 ticket. I'm on the plane, just like writing the most amazing Facebook post. You know, like you could do anything you want to do, whatever it was. And I'm sitting down there and we're taxiing for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, something's wrong. And they're like, we have to go back to the gate. There's something wrong with the plane. And it turns out they're like, it's going to take 3 hours to fix this thing. And they're like, you're welcome to get off. So I get off the plane just to kind of stretch my legs. And they're like, we can refund your ticket if you want because of this. So I got both tickets refunded. I called the school. I said, I'm going to be another day late. I found another ticket for $700, but I got the $2,000 back plus that initial $500 investment that I put down into it. All came back to me.
That is insane.
It's nuts. So it's funny how like the world will test you to be like, how badly do you want this risk that you're about to take? This thing that is outside of your comfort zone, we're going to put a bunch of obstacles in the way of it.
Yeah.
But once you prove that you're good, you are sailing. So I get to France and I'm in this class with like people from around the world that are here to learn this form of comedy. And I was about to say this new form of comedy, but truth be told, it's actually very old. And this teacher's taught like Sacha Baron Cohen and Helena Bonham Carter. And everyone in this class is like so open and loving, which is great because the teacher is so cutthroat. And the class goes like this: get up and make us laugh. And then boom, he bangs his drum. Thank you, sit down.
My God.
He goes, Greg, did we think he was, so funny, so funny, so funny? Or did we want him to die? And then you would have to say, we wanted him to die.
Oh my God.
Because here's the thing about this style of comedy, right? And this is in personal development as well. If you are trying to be something that you're not, if you are inauthentic, it is not funny.
Yeah.
And the whole world will feel that. And the truth be told is like, if you see a performer on stage and they're not giving you themselves, you do want them to die.
Yeah.
You're like, get off the stage, stop wasting my time. So that kind of honest feedback, which you won't get from friends, which you won't even get from audiences, because you'll always get the pity laugh of the he's trying.
Right. Yeah.
It's good. That kind of honest feedback breaks those parts of you that are faking it. And the only laugh I got in that entire class was when I stood up in front of the class and I yelled at the teacher, I don't understand what you're talking about. You have the weirdest accent, and I don't understand a word that's coming out of your mouth. And the whole class erupts in laughter. And I have no idea why. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I can't even tell if they're laughing at me. I flew all the way from America to do this, and I'm just such a failure. They are dying. They're hysterical laughing at me. And I'm like, and I don't even know why they're laughing at me right now. But they were laughing because I got real.
Yeah.
Because I showed a side of myself, and these were real fears that were coming out. I was like, I just flew all this way to fail, right? It's funny.
Yeah. Well, what I find fascinating here is that it almost sounds like through clown school, like that taught you to be who you are, right? And that's such a massive part of personal development, improving yourself, and just being happy in life is to stop rejecting who you actually are and embrace it and start to learn how to be that person. My next question was going to be, how do you figure that out? But it sounds like it, for you at least, it just had to be like this brutal environment of anytime you weren't that, you just got rejected.
I think that's the case for everybody. Like, you already know who you are, you've just forgotten.
Yeah.
Like, it's those things that you did when you were a kid before pain kicked in. When you were like, I want to do this thing, right? As a kid, we have no problem dreaming. Mm-hmm. And a great exercise, and I did learn this at a Tony Robbins event, is like going back to your first ever dream. What did you want? What did you want to be? Why did you want to be it? What would you get from being that? What was your second dream after that dream? Who did you want to be? What did you want to bring? What did you want to get from that? Why did you want to get that? Mm-hmm. And if you keep doing that, you can actually see a through line in all of your dreams. And that's who you are. And that's why you're here. My whole thing that I wanted to be an NBA player. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm a 6'2" white Jewish guy. Like, there's no chance that I'm going to be an NBA player. And my mom let me know. And then I wanted to be an actor, right? And the reason why I wanted to be an NBA player was because I wanted to play and have fun with my friends. Mm-hmm. And then the reason why I wanted to be an actor is because I wanted to play and have fun with my friends. Yeah. All I want in life is to play and have fun with my friends. So that's how I go about life. Yeah. I just want to create moments of excitement and amusement for me and the people that I love. Mm-hmm. And the beauty is that once we get out of our own way, we realize that we have the potential to love everybody. Yeah. And everybody has the potential to be our friends. So the market it stopped being just about me and my family and friends. It became about everyone that I encounter as the opportunity to be a new friend. Mm-hmm. And we can create and play if they're open to it.
So what's next for you? So you've got the show, you've got the book.
I got the book.
Are you doing another book? Are you doing a different show, a TV show? Like, what happens next?
We've got a lot of stuff in the works. Right now, the big thing is we've got a performance on July 14th in Los Angeles at the Dynasty Typewriter Theater. Okay. Tickets are available now. I'd love to have everybody listen to this. Where can they buy that? They can buy that at stopstoppingtheunstoppable.com. I've got these great hats that are going up for sale. One says understated billionaire. Great hat. It's a great way to manifest what you want to be. And then the other one, can I say the F word on your show? Yeah, the other one is don't fail forward, fuck up. So we've got that, and the book's available on there as well. We're going to put some stuff together. Hopefully this could be a TV show. Mm-hmm. We've got some really great concepts around this character. But I'm just going to be going on tour. So if you're interested in seeing me, there's a great mailing list. And the whole website is designed to parody the websites of personal development speakers. So you actually get a free gift from Dale Thorhammer if you sign up for the mailing list. That's amazing. Yeah.
And that's at stopstoppingtheunstoppable.com.
Stopstoppingtheunstoppable.com. And then also on Facebook and Instagram, both at Dale Thorhammer, which is the character, and me at the Ross Everett.
Got it. So LA, July 14th, you said?
July 14th, Los Angeles.
July 14th, LA, stopstoppingtheunstoppable.com. Do you have any New York shows coming up?
We are going to be booking some. You'll be the first to know.
Perfect.
Yeah. We're going to be doing like an East Coast tour and putting all that stuff together.
When we do a New York, we'll try and do like a Tiny Leaps meetup at the show or something like that.
That'd be great.
Dude, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks
this was such a fun conversation. StopStoppingTheUnstoppable.com. Anywhere else we can connect with you directly, or is that the best place?
There's if you go to theRossEverett.com, or I'm very available on Instagram. So yeah, people want to reach out through Instagram.
Awesome. And I'll grab those links and put them in the description. And for you, the listener, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for choosing to spend some time with us today. This was a cool conversation for me because, like I mentioned, we're trying to solve the same problem, but using who we uniquely are to find the solution. And you really can't do anything else besides that. So Ross, thank you again for being here. To listeners, thank you for being here. Be sure to click subscribe if you have not already. That's the best way to make sure you never miss a new episode. And as always, remember that all big changes come from the tiny leaps you take every day.